Welcome to the intermediate class today, and welcome to those of you who are new to this class. So be seated, sit in a nice position so you are ready. So a lot of you now have got quite a bit of yoga underneath your belt, so see that you go through that process of sitting well. So one of the options is to just touch your knees here. Just fine touch and lift up through the center of the body. We want to get this elongation. That's really key in yoga. It takes all the weight off the hips and it helps us with the flexion and those really deeper actions required in the rotations. So be sure you're sitting up really well. Roll your shoulders back and down. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now I want to see that actually I'm still becoming aware of those legs, and what people tend to do is not encourage that breadth of frame, so you just push into your legs. That's all that happens. But you have to see that you pull up your legs and then see, can you push back? So much extension is required here to get the full length of the spine, and it doesn't stop. It just continues to become such a strong practice over time. Okay, so be finishing your Adho Mukha Svanasana and then we come for Uttanasana. So just see here. Now take a look at the screen. Now my feet are a lot wider now, but actually I want to see that as you make this triangle going up to the center of the body, this triangle, I want to see that this becomes a rectangle. So that means to say I've got to move those inner groins deeply away. Now by broadening this back buttock, it will give me the support required. Then folding my arms and just releasing down. And softening, 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 softening. So once you can get those legs extended, then the spine will start to soften. All right, and releasing. So I want you to have a look at the screen again. Come up. Just come up slowly and stand in Padasana. Roll your shoulders back and down, lift up through the center of the body. We're coming for Shavasana now, so I'd like you to set up your props. You can go to the wall or you can come into the center of the room. If you're not practicing Shavasana, then take a look at the screen and you'll be able to see the alternative practice. Okay, so when you come for your Shavasana today, you want to see that you take some of this work into account. So that is, when we work the arms, you've got to see that you get breadth and broadness across your shoulders. So this is very important. And then we place the head down. Now when we come up, we want to get as much action in these front thighs as possible. So when you're here, pushing those thigh bones up towards the ceiling. Up towards the ceiling. And then we come. Now if you come with two legs, that's fine, but it's always good to swap things around. Okay, as you lift up, be mindful that you're broadening across the back of the shoulders. This is a really important action. And you get this from moving your upper arms towards the end of the mat. Okay, so let's start the Shavasana. There's no variations today. So just see that you go straight up towards the ceiling. You've got to see that you reach as if you were extending. And there's a string holding your heels and you're reaching right up. It's quite useful if you're by the wall because you can scrape those heels right up the wall, and that works out really well. Okay, so we want to see that we build this Shavasana into a good 5 minutes plus eventually. So when you're watching these videos, it might be that you keep up with the pace of the video. You may think that it's time now, I can add another minute to this practice. Always good to look at the demonstration because there may be some variations or something going on that you need to work within the sequence. All right, so once you're there, I want you to do the body scan. So often we're dealing with the physical difficulty of this pose that we forget that there is such a beautiful direction and flow of the breath. So when we're in this pose, it takes a long time, but it's well worth correcting it. Start by scanning right at the base. See that you press so much into your forearms that your head becomes slightly lighter. In this way, you'll initiate a little bit of space in the shoulder area. So those upper arms can move towards the end of the mat. And you can do this really well by the wall as well, so don't worry about that. And then continue to see that you are lengthening the side waist. Now, as you lengthen, you'll become narrow. So the front body moves to the back body. And then see how much space, go back to the shoulders again. How much space can you create there from moving the side waist away, grounding down into the forearms, and seeing that you shift those upper arms towards the end of the mat. Are you making a difference? Is there a change there? This is what you have to question. And then continue to reach all the way through the legs, extending your heels up and being there for a few moments. Soft inhale, soft exhale. So once you get that lightness, you can then start to concentrate on filling the upper frame with the breath. And you get that breath, you get that broadness. Okay, well done. All right, and again, beauty of these pre-recorded videos is if you want to stay a bit longer, then do. But if you're keeping up with the practice, the sequencing, then see that you come down with control. Yeah, not crashing down. You want to see you tap with your feet down. And then keep your head down for a while because this too is very important. Soft inhalation and exhalation. So just recover for a moment or two. You know, standing on your head is quite a challenging pose when we come to it. It continues to evolve, but you do have to respect that the energies change when you come down and you just have to settle for a while. Okay, have a look at the screen. So I'm going to come into a Setabandha action. Now, if you're really stiff here in the shoulders, you need to put a folded mat underneath the shoulder or a blanket, whatever you've got handy. So when you come up into the Setabandha, you're going to interlock your fingers, walk your hands away and press down into your feet. Now you want to see that you lift, just slow lifts of the chest and the back body. So the shoulder blades and the rib area need to just slowly move towards the chest. So I'm letting the whole pelvis release and then open. So the pelvis lifts up. So it's worth taking a little bit of time with this. So when you've had enough, you just release it down again. And then ignite the arms, press down into the feet and roll onto the tops of the shoulders. Maybe bring the arms in a little bit more and lift up. Okay, and then release in and just release down and let the back completely settle. Just take a few breaths, a few inhalations and exhalations, and just be there. So we're coming for Chatucha Padasana now. So when we come for Chatucha Padasana, you want to see that you either use your belt or you grab the front ankles. Now I want you to see this action. I work better with the belt, but I'm going to use this classic way of working. Did you notice that I opened my chest before I went up? So just have a look at the screen if you missed that. I actually collected my shoulders. Now I'm here and I can't go very far. So I have to see that I keep the lift of the back of the thigh, the lift of the back creases, and it's the chest that's not opening. So I'm going to move the arms in a little more and then lift the chest. So again, I need to do a little bit more maneuvering. In I go and lift up. So a bit difficult to talk in that action. All right, so once you have had a go at that and you've practiced, then we're coming for Sarvangasana. Now, if you're not practicing Sarvangasana today, then come into Viparita Karani to the wall. All right, so when you come for your Sarvangasana, I just want to show you a little bit of practice here because we're going to come into Supta Konasana. So Supta Konasana is always a really nice way to release the back because it opens it in a really nice broad way. Now, if you are practicing with your platform in this way, it's quite nice to use the bolster to give you the launch. Don't forget you can also use a belt to train your arms. Remember that our body has condition in it, and with the props it does help to try to move through those set habits in the body. So if you need a belt for Sarvangasana, that's no problem. So I just want you to see where we're going here. So remember, when you take the feet down, you've got to draw the abdomen to the spine and then releasing the legs down. So you're supporting your back and then you're going to take the legs wider. So I've got a blanket here. So you want to make sure you clear the deck before you come into this action. And what I love about this is that you can roll into it. Keep the legs widening. So that is just a starting point, but those of you who've got a bit more flexibility, use this to encourage this breadth and broadness across the back. And I want you to just be here for a few moments, softening the abdomen towards the spine, and then eventually we're going to bring the legs together and come up to the Sarvangasana action. Okay, all right, so let's have a go. Supta Konasana, really nice action. We're not coming for the Parshva today. The Supta is the one that we want to have go at. So if you've not already got into it, be in Supta Konasana, and when you're in this pose, see that you're rolling the skin fibers to the thighs. Roll the skin fibers to the thighs and get that breadth and broadness across the lower back. From the leg action, broad, open. Go and see if you can get that connection with it. Soft inhale, soft exhale. So once you can get into that action, it's really, really nice. Okay, so once you've done and you've connected with the center of direction, lift through the abdomen and bring the legs back together. Support your spine, put your belts on if you need them, and then go up into Sarvangasana. So remember that we've been rinsed the spine through the practice, so you want to see that you lift up nicely. Get that really nice extension through the center of the body. And again, see that you ground down into the base. So the upper arms have got to work strongly. You've got to lengthen through the upper arm, but also ground down. Now remember the action in Dandasana at the very beginning of the class. How long those thighs needed to become, how long the fibers needed to become. And now it's your arms that need to come into this action of length and extension. And from there you can move deeply into your upper back fibers. See that you're getting that connection. And once you can become stable at the base, lengthen through the spinal column, lengthen the back of the pelvis to the back of the thighs, and extend up into your heels. And again, some of you may be working towards 8 minutes in this by now, or you may still be wanting just a couple of minutes and touch and go. So whatever you're practicing, you've got to see that you maintain a good Sarvangasana. It's no good just holding it for the time limit. That's no good. If you just hold it because you think, oh yeah, I need to have 8 minutes in this, but actually the pose isn't that great, then really you're teaching your body how to work in bad conditions. So you want to correct that and keep that lift. And now observe your breath whilst you're in your Sarvangasana. Observe it. Soft inhale and soft exhale. So just another 30 seconds in this pose. If you're staying longer, then please do extend your practice. Otherwise, get ready to give yourself another lift up. And then with that lift up, come down with control, either both legs, one leg and then the other, or bent knees, and then releasing the feet to the floor. And just again, resting the head down. So keeping your position. So what I mean by resting the head down is to not rush up or sit up. Just stay where you are. And take a few longer, deeper inhalations. Okay, well done. Now I just want you to have a look at this because I'm using my platform now. Those of you who haven't been doing Sarvangasana, then you can always make this platform up because it's really well worth it. I love this platform, introduced to it in India, and it's just so nice. Okay, so you just turn your platform round, then having your mat in this position, very nice. So we've worked like this before, but what's really nice is that because of the narrowness of the support, it just supports the torso and the arms can be free. So when you're ready, come into this Shavasana. Now you can always put a bolster on the thighs if you feel that that would give you extra benefit. And then let the arms release out to the sides and just soft inhalation and exhalation. So see that the breath helps you to settle. The softness of the abdomen, the weighting down of the legs, all combine together to give you a really nice Shavasana. So just settling the facial features. If you've got an eye bag or a belt you can put over your eyes, then that's really worth doing because it keeps that inward direction. Facial features soft, back teeth apart, throat soft, and just let the body become weighted and heavy. So now that gives you an opportunity to observe your breath. And as you do so, be mindful that you're taking soft but deep inhalations eventually. Be sure that you are focusing inwardly. So if you'd like to stay a little bit longer in your Shavasana, then do so. Otherwise, roll to your right side and come up into a seated position. Lifting up through the center still. We're still in our practice. Just keeping that quietness, keeping that peaceful state. There's no urgency. Thank you for joining me today, and look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.